putting together an offense, some kind of 60-minute scheme to be able to answer all that Brian Flores does as a defensive coordinator for the Vikings, that's a hell of a daunting challenge. And then you add on top of that what happened this past weekend in Houston, where you're trying to clean up what was while you're preparing for what is. That's a big challenge for Jim Bob Cooter. He was asked about it.
Yeah, we're looking at everything in an effort to play a little bit better on Sunday. You know, a big emphasis for us as a staff, as probably every staff in the league, is trying like crazy to put our guys in a good position to succeed. And on Sunday we had a tough outcome, and got a chance to learn from that and move forward, and probably ought to save some of the schematic thoughts for the coaching staff here in the building. But we're working on getting better. Same thing with Anthony. He's working on getting better, working on improving different areas of his game, like we all are this time of the year. So just working on improving, working on different things in practice and going from there.
One quick follow-up. Have you all made a decision on who's going to start at quarterback?
Defer to Shane on all that stuff.
That was worth asking.
Steven.
Good try. Hey, so now Shane obviously kind of said that everything's being evaluated, as you should, as is his right. In the meantime, as you're going through this week and preparing, is there any message you need to deliver to Anthony, or in terms of like how he should govern himself? I mean, or do you need to reinforce anything for him? He's a young quarterback and has had some struggles. I don't know. And then you hear that. I wonder, as he processes that and so forth.
Yeah, I think it's a constant, ongoing, push to improve. As a coaching staff, coaching any young player, we're looking to give those guys guidance. The NFL, you have your ups and your downs. You have your good games and your good drives, and you have your tough ones. So to be able to sort of weather the storm sometimes and come back out playing good ball and working hard and practicing hard and trying to get better. That's what we all do in this league, and anything other than that, I'll keep behind closed doors, because we're trying to coach our guys up to get better.
He does seem like he's a pretty confident guy. I mean, the losses take a toll, clearly, right? But he does seem to kind of deal with those ups and downs well. I mean, would that be a fair statement?
Yeah. I mean, we're all working through. We're all mad after these games when you don't win. So we're working to get better, and working to sort of, like I said, come out and practice hard and put a good week of work together and try to play a good one next week.
Chad.
Hey, Jim Bob. If you were talking to somebody who hadn't seen either quarterback play, how would you describe the different styles of Flacco and AR?
Yeah. There's some different strengths and weaknesses with each guy. I'm sure defenses try to account for that, within different weeks that we've had this year, where different guys have been out there. So obviously Anthony moves around, makes plays with his legs a little bit more often. And that's the obvious one. I'll hold the rest. I'll let Flores and the gang at Minnesota sort of think about that. But no, those guys are working to get better. We're trying to put together a good week of work and see if we can't go get a win this week. Going to be a tough challenge.
One quick follow-up. And again, there's no way you're going to give us any information internally, but is there some comfort, if that's the right word, as a coordinator and as an offense, that you've got two guys that have shown that differing styles, that each one can get things done in their own way?
Yeah, I think
some teams aren't like that.
Yeah, I think the benefit of having multiple quarterbacks that can lead you to a win is really, really valuable. That's been really good for us.
Thanks, Jim Bob.
Do a couple more here. We'll go Nate.
Hey, Jim Bob, I knew you weren't going to tell us who is actually going to start, but
you guys are all very confident about knowing. Go ahead.
Yeah, wait.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know how you operate. I'm just curious, the spot you're in, I know you're not going to tell us who's going, but do you know who's going and you're able to just build a game plan for that quarterback? Or are you in a spot this week where you're going to have to build multiple plans based on how this is going to shake out?
I think every week we got to prepare for all contingencies, and that's just the nature of our business, the nature of our job. Yeah, Nate's been asking me questions for like 8 years now, so he's been through the ringer on these things. Yeah, we're working for every contingency.
Yeah, it was a little different with Stafford. Just one quick follow-up is you've been through this once with the young quarterback, specifically with Trevor Lawrence. I'm just curious, Cody, when you look at building up a quarterback who's kind of young like that, what's the balance between teaching him with reps on the field versus some of that stuff away from it when you can just kind of slow him down, watch film, watch others? Like how important are all those different elements?
Yeah, it's a constant sort of, I think Shane answered this the other day, but just a constant thing that we evaluate as we're developing all the young players, because there's a few different ways to work and improve and get better. And, every avenue can be valuable to different guys at different times in their career. And it's sort of on us to figure out sort of what that best path is. And a lot of those conversations happen in the off seasons and sort of early on in guys' careers. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to get better in this league. And we always want to take advantage of every opportunity we can to get better and be open to sort of learning however we have to.
Then we have our last question from Joel.
Bernie's been how's Bernie been playing this year, and how tough would it be to replace if he's he's in the protocol now, so we don't know, but how tough would it be to fill his shoes if you have to?
Yeah, there's been a lot of good ball. There's been a lot of good ball played. He's been battling out there with his teammates, with his sort of O-line mates specifically. Those guys are battling and competing, and kind of mentioned this a few times a year. There's not a lot of easy Sundays for a tackle in this league. These guys on the edge in this league are just phenomenal players, and you go out to battle and you win a lot of matchups. You're not going to win 100%. You're gonna sort of throw some punches and receive a few punches. But Bernie's been battling like crazy. Just really, really proud of the way he's played this year, and looking forward to watching more good ball when the time's right.
I'm sorry, I missed one. We have one more last question, Kevin.
Jim Bob, you mentioned Flores earlier. What is the challenge in facing everything he can throw at you?
Yeah, these guys are doing a phenomenal job. It's a top level defense. There's a lot of accolades out there about them, and they've earned them all. It's a tough defense. It's a great challenge for us. It's going to be really fun. They got a bunch of really good players on that defense, and then schematically they put them in really good position to go have success. Whether it's a pressure situation or a coverage situation or a front situation, those guys are mixing it up pretty good and letting their guys play. And the tape doesn't lie when you see some of the big plays they've made and the problems they've created for offenses, and all the stats and all that's come with it. So really, really good defense. Going to be a heck of a challenge this week. It's what we're here for. It's the fun part of this job, and look forward to diving back into it here in about 2 minutes when I leave you guys.
That's Jim Bob Cooter, and I got to tell you, we say it every week about Shane, is that, they don't change. The mood doesn't change. The temperament doesn't change. I don't know what happens inside the building, inside the conference rooms as the coaches get together and talk among each other and then with their players. But boy, oh boy, week to week, these guys win, lose, draw, whatever. These guys are the same guys. Jim Bob Cooter, certainly a part of that kind of consistency in behavior. We'll see what this offense does to answer Brian Flores and what he does in terms of like disguising coverages and blitzes and all of that stuff. A very difficult defense to prepare for, and a really difficult defense to execute an offense against. They are really, really good against the run. They are not so good against the pass. What in the world does that mean? And does that open a door for either Anthony Richardson or Joe Flacco to kind of walk through it and lead the Colts to some points being scored? Enough points that they can overcome what Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson are able to do on the other side of the football.